It's gotta be. Like Earth fast food has to have its own flavor to it. Flick it up.
Yeah.
Nice.
Should be going.
Yep. Looks like it's going. Bang, bang, bang.
Finger guns and
Bobby Benedict.
what up?
Is your podcast on like Apple or
Yep, should
Spotify?
be on all major streaming platforms under the Petri dish, but I've just been mostly focusing on YouTube just because, like, that's where the real fun is.
Yeah, video's nice. I just listen to so many at work that I can't really keep up with YouTube, but I like to in my free time. The Petri dish. I will subscribe because I always like the clips.
Hell yeah.
But I didn't know if it... I think I checked one time and it wasn't there. But that was a while ago, so maybe it took a second.
Every once in a while, I'll just be like, didn't make one over the weekend. And Tuesday rolls around and I'm like, I'll get them next week, you know?
But
like,
I should be able to find the backlog.
Oh, yeah, it should all still be there.
Yeah.
And then
So I'll figure it out.
Those clips are edited to be way funnier than we are for an actual, like, hour. Fucking, we can never quite pull it together. But that's fine because, like, it's always just like a Sunday afternoon and I'm like high doing laundry and then Jonathan just has brain damage. So like we're both a little bit slowed down as we're getting back into it. So
he's the guy I don't think I've met him.
Yeah,
he's funny in the clips.
he was in the scene up until he went back home around 2019. But he was just like mine and Austin's third roommate initially.
Was he ever at the Reno Tahoe shows?
No, I think he got an audition once. And, you know, if you get put up on a random Thursday and you're like a weird comic, it's not good. You got to be really on for an audience of like 5 people on a rainy day.
I suppose, but also you could just stack some chairs or something, and that got you in.
We also could have just lied. I don't think Wayne was even there. We could have just been like, yeah, Jonathan did great. But even he was like, nah. He was just like, I'm too ashamed to come back. Sometimes you just do so bad at a club, you're like, I'll come back in a year and hopefully nobody the same will be here.
Yeah.
Like when I went to Laughs for the first time 3 years ago, bombed my dick off, didn't go back until after the pandemic when I looked way different. Hey, all right.
You do look different than I remember. Oh, you used to have glasses and
Yep, used to have glasses.
short hair.
I used to be real clean, shaven.
Yeah.
Tried to be all, you know. I never tried to be family friendly, but I always tried to be a little bit like a cartoon, you know? A little bit like... And if I was on an all-ages show, I could just not say fuck and kind of get away with it.
Yeah.
But then, like, a bunch of my friends died and the whole pandemic happened, and I was like... I can't even pretend that this persona works right now. But I'm getting it back. I'm getting goofy again. I'm getting goofy again.
Bringing Goofy back.
Yeah, I'm bringing Goofy back.
Big Asian Justin Timberlake.
That's what they call me.
I like that.
Hell yeah. I've never been compared to Justin Timberlake before in my life, but this is a great place to
I feel like it would
start.
come up a lot.
I've also never even been a part of an ensemble of more than 4 people. So the NSYNC had 5. Justin Timberlake's beating me. But I'll catch up eventually.
That motherfucker. You'll be hosting Jeopardy soon enough.
Hell yeah. Man, I am so disappointed about where the host... Like, the fight for some new person to be the host of Jeopardy. I'm sad that it just came down to 2 nerds.
Who was it? I didn't really keep up. I heard Justin
Jennings,
Timberlake, but...
Ken Jennings, the dork that won a bunch of times, he's still up there. But he's not even, like, the one who won the most anymore. So his resume is just... has won at Jeopardy, the end. He doesn't do much else.
I was picturing the guy who popped out of the trunk naked in The Hangover.
Yeah, basically. It's him. That's Ken Jeong. Slightly
Ken
different.
Jeong. I think I saw a TikTok out of him doing it. Also, might have contributed to my memory.
I feel like he probably could. See, that's where I think Ken Jeong would have been a great host for Jeopardy.
He's like a doctor.
Yeah, he's a doctor. He's like smart. He's well spoken. It's just when they give him a character, he's like, all right, I'm gonna pull my dick out and get crazy. Which, like, that's the energy I want to bring to life.
Yes. They're gonna need a bigger trunk.
Yeah, they will. Can't be driving no sedan.
Maybe a mid-size. You'd fit in a mid-size.
I can really compact down, you know, like I try not to take up too much space actively in life anyway. So like when I ride an airplane, I have a whole like
I do that
thing that I do. So I'm like, all right, legally I fit in here. They can't do the Kevin James thing. Not Kevin James, different fat guy. The director, Kevin Smith. They can't force me to pay for an extra seat because of how much a potato I become. You know?
What's the smallest space you've ever been in?
Oh boy, I took a 26-hour flight to China once. That was a pretty small seat to occupy.
Airplane seats are pretty tight, especially if you got people on each side.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Is it a middle seat?
Luckily, it was an aisle seat, so I could at least like just take up the whole aisle, and everyone's like, "Well, he's king now, I guess." You know, like, this guy's king of the airplane,
king of row 32.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I can't think of any smaller place that I've ever been, just because like fucking airplanes always stick out in my brain. Because nowhere else do you have to make yourself that small.
Yeah.
Other than it's just like, all right, we only got so much space in this tube. You know, like, gotta take up less. I was on a flight once out of Reno, propeller airplane, already distressing because we have jets and have had them for decades. Propeller airplane out of Reno recently, like 2 years ago. Propeller airplane.
Going where?
I was just going to like Seattle, but they were just like, sorry, this is the one we have.
Huh.
And
only so many people bought tickets or something?
It was like it wasn't like a fucking Cessna. Like it was still like a jet.
Oh, like the ones in the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
4 propellers.
Yeah, like it had 4 propellers, one of them visibly patched up, like not original. And the seats was like a row of 2 on this side and then just a row of 1 on this side. And I was in a row of 1, thank God. But then it's a full flight, and they're like, hey, we're heavy. They just address the entire cabin, but I'm sitting there like in the front in a singular seat, and they're like, we're heavy. Who would like to volunteer to be on the next flight? And I did not.
No.
I didn't. I tried to make myself as invisible as possible. Thank God some like random couple took their shit in their bags, and apparently that was enough. And I was like, okay, well, if it was like those 2 were one me, so like I would understand if they were like, obviously it's you, you know, like, but they didn't. So thanks, Spirit Airlines.
Spirit was just like,
yeah,
duct tape strips, SR.
They were like, all right, well, everyone paid $60 to be here, so they'd all stab me if I said anything. So let's see what happens on this flight.
I've never done Spirit Airlines, I don't think. They're never the cheapest one when I look. But I've heard they're always bottom of the barrel.
They're always the worst flight, and sometimes they're not even the cheapest because like they don't have miles or anything. So like you can get a deal another place, but not Spirit. They will they'll just take what you got. They'll just take it. They'll just take your shit. The end. Welcome
Buy,
to Spirit
sell,
Airlines.
or trade. One guy walking in with like a live goat or something.
The only airline that takes bartering. You can go haggle at the gate. Be like, I know it just landed, but maybe I could get $10 from you, or maybe some free vouchers for drinks.
I'll go work the corner, try and get people on the next flight.
Hell yeah.
Barking for airline miles. There's got to be places that do.
I mean, I'd hope so, but I also would never. I would never use them. I would go just to see, kind of like how when you know a website is a scam, but you're like, kind of want to see what kind of scam they're running. And so you,
90% off MacBooks.
Yeah, you're like, I got a virus detector, and so you just go check it out. Yeah.
I'm very weary of computer. I don't know my computer stuff, so if something went wrong, I wouldn't know. So I'm pretty weary.
Yeah, I
think Pornhub's okay.
I just kind of already assume all my data's been stolen and is out there anyway, and I'm like, well, as long as I just don't ever become rich, I think I'm fine.
Yeah. I had a friend take a picture of my social security card in high school, and that still haunts me.
It's just out there.
Because I was like, delete that shit. And then he wouldn't. And then I still gave him a ride home is what I really think about. I shouldn't have done that.
I think you both got your identity stolen and also got extorted at the same time. I think just you ended up having 2 crimes happen. That's crazy. I also like that there's some people have nudes floating around. You just have information, social security card pics.
You can't talk to the government and get a new body, though.
Yeah. Honestly, I think I'd much rather have a picture of my dick out there than, like, any information about me. Because, like, the weirdest part about me is not my dick. So, like, I think I'm fine.
I feel like you got an all right dick.
Hell yeah.
I have trouble picturing people naked.
I just actively try not to. Just because, like, we all try so hard to wear clothes. Not me so much. I showed up here wearing gym shorts. Because comedy's not real unless you're getting paid for it. Don't listen to what anyone tells you about not being able to wear shorts on stage. Just do it. You'll be funnier when you wear pants.
Do you know Sam Talent?
Yeah.
Yeah. Your podcast clip reminds me of his podcast.
I love the first...
He wears shorts on stage.
The first year I did the Savage Henry Comedy Festival up in Humboldt was, I think, like the last year he did it.
Oh, yeah.
So it was really nice to kind of just have like a trade-off of chaos energy. I saw him eating a burrito outside of the theater, and I was like, majestic, there he is. And then he roasted the shit out of me.
Oh, you knew about him way
ball.
Back then.
Oh, yeah.
I found out about him from, like, the book, and he did the podcast circuit. That's the first book I had read in years.
Hell yeah. I think just before the book, Andrea B. had him up in at Dark Horse in, like, 2018 or something like that. So, yeah, like, we're fucking, the comedy underground is hot up here in Reno. Keep an eye on us.
I feel like it's moving in a direction. I can't say it's the right one for sure, but we're making moves.
I just think, like, I'm just so happy of our entire region. Like, the amount of talent I have seen just out of, like, northern Reno, parts of the valleys, the Bay, and then all the way up to, like, you know, some of the parts, Portland and Eugene and around. Like, this whole region just has a really weird set of comedians, but I think, you know, it's more original, which, I don't know, I came from the Midwest when I first started comedy, so, like, everyone's pretty normal up there.
Yeah, we're in the Midwest.
I was in South Dakota.
South Dakota. Also where Molman's from. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys know each other by chance? No.
Nah.
Can't picture there's too many people in South Dakota, but...
Right, which is crazy, because, like, I found out he was from South Dakota and, like, the same area, and I was like, I met people in South Dakota that I had known from other areas, and I was like, it's fucking crazy that we're both here.
Yeah.
And, like, to come out of the area and be like, you were there the whole time? You know, like, I swear I saw everybody.
You guys are similar ages, too, I think.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I should have gone out more, because I really didn't branch out of my little town until, like, the last 2 years I lived there. So, like, makes sense.
What's the South Dakota comedy scene like?
It's actually, like, there's a handful of really good comedians and producers keeping, like, a little independent comedy scene alive. Shout out to the Snow Jam Festival. It's going to be ending this coming year, but a bunch of comics that put that on do great stuff around that whole area. So I really like. I had a lot of pride coming from that area and seeing all of them like have lots of regional success there and like start cool festivals and like do cool shit and bring cool headliners out. I'm glad it didn't just fucking die, because like, boy, do scenes die quickly.
I've only been here, but I believe you. I don't think I could point South Dakota out on a map. It's mostly a square.
It's one of them,
with
it's
the
one of them
little
squarish
extra
ones.
square. Yeah.
It has like a little bloop, but is mostly square.
Yeah.
I know this isn't going to help geographically, but it's below North Dakota and above Nebraska. You know those two other squares in the middle no one knows about?
I would have thought Nebraska was way over here.
Nah, man.
Towards the west.
It's all just one big weird sandwich of just boring cornfields and soybeans.
And Mount Rushmore. Which, I don't know if you've ever been, very unimpressive. It doesn't seem that great.
It's so tiny. You have to stand so far away, but you also have to walk so far just to not even get up to it. It's like this big, and then you can go buy a postcard for like $40. Ugh. So, you know, hey, I love all my friends in South Dakota. As a state and area, fucking god-awful. Don't ever go there. Terrible, terrible place full of bastard people.
I think I'll avoid it as far as I can picture. Yeah. But you never know where life will take you.
Hey, you know, I also never thought I would end up in South Dakota, but hey, you know.
Didn't you grow up there, you said?
Nah, I didn't even grow up there. I just went there for college, because before that I was in Alaska, even more isolated.
Holy shit. Alaska's pretty, at least.
Yeah, and I regret not staying in Alaska, but my bigger regret is moving to South Dakota. Yeah. I could have gone fucking anywhere.
Weird pick. What drew you there?
My sister was in a college program there at the time, and because I was in Alaska, we would have to drive like 8 hours just to get to like the second biggest city, you know? So like, I was like, oh, I'll be in South Dakota, 4-hour drive away from Minneapolis and only 10 hours from Chicago. It's basically just a little weekend drive. Yeah. When you have in your brain that a 10-hour drive is just a quick little thing, then you're just broken on the inside. And that's what I was. I was like, South Dakota's in the middle of everything. I could go to California in 22 hours if I drive straight the whole time without stopping.
How far is California from Alaska, do you think?
Oh, God, let's see. From where I was, Anchorage to Fairbanks is about 8 hours. Fairbanks to the Canadian border is probably about another 12.
Oh, shit.
The entire territory through Canada is a good day and a half if you're hauling ass. But it's also the worst road anyone has ever made because it's in rural Canada, so no one's like, better fix that up. It's just good enough for a truck to get through to like deliver to Walmart, so it fucking sucks. And it's also rural Canada, so like whatever rural shit we have in America, that but colder and further apart. And so it's just like this grueling 3-day drive to even get back into America.
Holy shit.
And then Washington to California is what, like, that's like a 22 hour drive depending on where you're going from which, but
I made it to the gorge in like 11.
Yeah.
So probably 13 hours.
Yeah, which like after 3 days of driving, that's basically just a day. Yeah. So like the worst part is getting out of the state, really.
Alaska's just way bigger than I could have ever imagined.
Yeah, it's fucking huge. And most of it is just like untouched forest land because, you know, you don't... There's no reason to go up and look around them in there. Like, it's cool and beautiful, but also you'll die real fast. You know, there's giant brown bears and just packs of wolves and never-ending cold tundra. So don't do it. Don't die in Alaska. Well, do die in Alaska. It's really nice, but, you know, like, plan it.
Is that where the Into the Wild guy went?
I think so.
I think so, too. How'd the school bus get out there?
Fuck if I know.
I accidentally spoiled that movie for my girlfriend. I was like, there's no way you haven't seen that movie. The one where the guy kills himself at the end, right? And she was pissed because
don't gotta watch
she wanted to see it.
I hate when the only way to describe something is to, like, completely fuck it up for somebody. Like, oh, what? You mean that movie where he's just in his own dream the whole time? Oh, fuck.
The one where the kid can see ghosts.
It's really hard to, but also like, I don't know. I am of the mind that it is more about the journey than like knowing any of the specifics.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I fucking hate spoilers.
I've never been too affected. I don't have a great memory either.
Same. That's why like people have spoiled things for me and I just haven't watched it for like 2 or 3 years, and then I come back and I'm like, whoa, Breaking Bad was great, you know? Like,
I'm rewatching that right now.
Yeah, I missed the entire last season, and like, of course, I heard all the spoilers and heard everything, and then like, and then I didn't watch it for like another 5 years until it was just all on Netflix, and then I was like, sweet, now I'm gonna get everything in there. I was like, whoa, it's crazy. He did the thing. I don't want to spoil it for people now.
Do aliens prefer Earth fast food over the rest of the universe, I guess, would be the comparison? I don't know what they could be eating other places.
I like to think that like fast food or even tasty food is like a uniquely human thing. You know, like I like the idea of aliens coming down and being like, yeah, and then we just absorb the nutrients and then we go about our day.
Photosynthesis.
Yeah, and that's like, or they're just like, they got like a slug body, so they just kind of like just absorb stuff into their mucus. But then they're just like, wait, you guys just like pack an orifice full of things and then
seems inefficient.
Enjoy it. And then I don't know if we'd have to help the aliens develop taste, or we would find how they taste. Not how they taste, but how they do tasting. You know, I do think we would find out how aliens taste. That's another thing
very
I think
quickly.
we'd do. I can't say I would.
We got to crack open those Mexican sculpture things they presented. Give it a lick.
Oh shit! We'll go find like one of those crystal skulls that's supposed to have like a bunch of secrets in it, and just
the one from Indiana Jones.
Maybe the conduit that they've been looking for is just a little lick, mop, just a little one.
I feel like your asshole should be in your feet.
That'd be efficient. Did you know your
wouldn't
asshole
make
also
sense
has
for toilets,
buds?
but before there was toilets.
That's true. Before there was.
You have a second asshole now. Is that correct?
Yes. I had a butt surgery, so now I have a second asshole just above the first one, so it stays nice and clean.
Is it functional?
I wish. It doesn't even make fart noises. It's all and in fact, it's all healed up now. It makes me sad because I thought I was gonna have like a gnarly scar, but now it just looks like I have a dirty butt crack. It's kind of I don't even have a cool story now.
Yeah. I got in a vicious pegging incident. They missed so many times.
If anyone sees the scar, I'll just be like, "Ah, man, you guys remember when Taco Bell had the the grilled stuffed XSL steak burrito?"
I was working there at that point. And you can get one item for free, I think it was. So that was a good pick because it was the most expensive.
Yep.
So I feel like that would be the cheapest thing on the menu nowadays.
God,
Taco Bell has like tripled in price.
Yeah, I specifically, this was probably 2006 now, so it was forever ago. But I remember when the Chalupa first came out, and the 2 chicken chalupas was $6.66 after tax. So I was like, fuck yeah, Satan, let's get the chalupas. You know, like it was like, not only am I high and eating McDonald's, it's also fucking for the devil, yeah. I was like 12. I didn't care. I wasn't actually high, but I did love Satan.
And how long into loving Satan does your marijuana use start?
Honestly, let's see. It took like a whole ass decade afterwards. Like I used to listen to a bunch of fucking weird shit, going on the internet too much and being like, I'm gonna read the anarchist cookbook and fucking build a bomb in my backyard.
At 12?
Yeah, I had the internet way too early.
And not much to do in Alaska.
Not much to do. And so, like, I grew up real weird. But then, like, I chilled myself out because even I was starting to be like, come
Take
on.
it easy.
Yeah, you still got to, like, live the rest of your life after this. Like, don't put a bunch of embarrassing shit on the internet.
Where'd you get the anarchist cookbook?
Oh, I just found, like, a whole text document online.
Okay.
Someone was like, hey, you can never find this anywhere, so now here's the fucking, like, whole thing.
They don't put it in libraries? In the banned book section or whatever?
Whenever I have found it stocked in a library, it's always been indefinitely checked out or, like, just straight up missing. Which, like, that's anarchy,
That's
baby.
the anarchist way.
Can't even be mad at it. I'm like, I get it. They fucking stole it. Like, that's what you're supposed to do with that book, I guess. But this is a society. If we don't have the society, we can't have the anarchy. So follow the order so that I can fucking read a book
One
sometimes.
day, check this out.
Yeah. You got let everybody have a little bit of chaos, not just one person all at once. You know?
What if that was the only thing in the library?
It's just an entire library of anarchist cookbooks.
I just went to the library for the first time since, like, I don't think I went to my high school library since, like, middle school.
Hell yeah.
I got a book on the science of luck. Seems like a self-help book, but I'm trying to read more. I want to be smarter, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I found out that you could just get your library card online and then listen to audiobooks for free through an app. So not only have I been not reading at all, I've just been audiobooking like I've been audiobooking like murder mystery novels, not even anything fucking smart. I'm just like, oh no, I can't believe she solved it again. Next. Fucking
Like Nancy Drew or higher level?
like
Is Nancy Drew the one I'm thinking of, or was she like a CNN reporter? Or
no,
something?
that was her. That was the fucking Nancy Drew books.
What was the one? The Magic Treehouse was my shit.
I was more of a Hardy Boys kind of guy, but that's
Hardy
only because my dad found like a 12-pack of Hardy Boys books at a Costco, and he was like, "This is your personality now." Wasn't. I read one of those books, and I was like, "These guys are fucking dorks," because I was already like.
Reading the anarchist cookbook.
Like, when I was 10 years old, the movie Hedwig and the Angry Inch came out, which is a musical about a child in East Berlin who gets a sex change operation so they can pretend to be their mother to escape communism. But it's also a rock musical about their terrible life. And it's
What is this called?
It's called Hedwig and the Angry Inch. It's amazing. It was redone on Broadway recently, and Hedwig was played by Neil Patrick Harris. So, like, it's a dope musical. But I found that at 10 years old, which, like, I'm not gay, but that movie made me.
Oh, it's a movie or a book?
It's a movie. It's a movie and a musical. But I found that at 10 years old, and I was like, life is crazy, and I've just never like questioned anything since.
Where do you go from there?
I was just like, hey, oh boy, life takes you to crazy places. Still love that musical though.
I gotta check that out. I've never been interested in a musical, but that sounds
it's a
mighty
crazy one.
enticing.
I feel bad because they did a local version of it here at one of the theaters. I think at the Bruca Theater, and I just totally missed the entire run. And I was like, shit. I thought it would be like a Broadway thing where they do it for like 2 years, and maybe if I find the time, I'll get in on it. But
No, just like a weekend.
yep, that's what happens when you get into local art. Sometimes it's not there anymore.
Artists kill themselves often.
Oh boy, yeah. All the time. I was just listening to some Linkin Park earlier. Mike Shinoda released a new single recently.
Did he kill himself on 9/11? Is that something?
I don't think it was on 9/11, but it was like super close to that because I remember my mom was going to get me tickets to them in Lake Tahoe that same tour. And I saw all the posters. I was like, yeah, cool. I'm going to get to see
You were
Linkin
in
Park
Alaska,
live. No,
or-
this was here.
Okay.
This was here. This was
I
just
thought she was gonna fly you to Lake Tahoe.
This was like this was that summer right before he killed himself. And they were like advertising all the things. And I was like, cool, I'm finally going to get to see them. And I did not get to see them. I didn't quite make it. But hey,
Show must go on.
They sure
should have
tried.
figured it out.
They sure tried. But it's
Get a small Puerto Rican boy like Journey.
honestly, I really think because now Sum 41, that band is ending, and that guy that sings in Sum 41 has filled in on a Linkin Park song before.
Yeah.
I think it could happen. But
Fat Lip is like one of my favorite songs.
God
ever.
damn, I love that song.
I don't listen to too much music, but I found that on Guitar Hero, and I do like it.
God, I miss Guitar Hero because like I actually play music, but even playing music live in front of an audience, Guitar Hero still made me feel better about my musicianship than actual playing songs does.
I can only imagine.
Oh,
Can
so
you
good.
explain a beat to me?
Ah, yes.
I can't find the 1, 2, 3, 4 in
Well,
any song.
You see, you just every beat is just gonna start with a 1. Most songs are in 4/4, but sometimes they'll trick you and there'll be a little pickup note. But when you listen to a song, most of the time you'll hear a snare drum hit on what is the 2 and the 4 of the beat. You know,
Snare drum is the
Is that-
Civil War.
is that yeah. So most of the things will have that constantly hitting on the 2 and 4. And so if you look in that, you can usually find the groove where the 1 starts. And then once you find that, you can sometimes find that different songs will fuck with you or fuck with the time.
What's jazz about?
Jazz, it says, hey, do you like your beats to be 1, 2, 3, and 4? Fuck that shit. And then they're just like, ooh, now you got to count to 6. It's crazy.
6
Ooh.
out of 4?
Yeah, actually, 6/4 is a type. It's a thing. You count. Let's see. 6/4
1,
is
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
1,
And
2,
then it
3,
repeats.
4, 5, 6. Da, 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 da. Yeah, that'll be us.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
It's dark in here now.
Yeah, it got dark. And
You got any ghost stories? Spooky
Oh
stories?
boy, one time I thought I was about to be like fucking attacked by a ghost. I went down in the morning. I went down some stairs, walked around a wall, and then my kitchen was in like a weird sliding door for some reason. So I was about to slide that door open.
Did you live outside?
No, but this was
That would make sense. Then.
this was a house where I basically should have just been living outside anyway with the amount of roaches that were in it. But then like as I round that corner and go to slide that door open in, I just see a little round thing peek around the corner and I flip the fuck. I slam that door like all the way into its hole and like run into the kitchen thinking I can like jump out the window if I'm about to be attacked. Turns out it was just a balloon that I had walked past and the breeze had drawn it ever so slightly out from behind a wall. But it fucked with me.
How many balloons do you have going at any given time?
Hey, sometimes you get a balloon and you just keep it around for as long as you can because it still makes you feel good.
Yeah, you might as well. Not put it to waste immediately. That's why the tinfoil ones are nice, or whatever material that is.
Yeah, Mylar.
Mylar, that's right.
Which
My mom is scared of balloons.
I don't even know if Mylar is an actual metal or just like the brand of aluminum they use. All I know is I love watching videos of families releasing those balloons into power lines.
That's a good time.
You just see an entire corner store, like its lights go down, and
Wasn't
they're
the
like, "Ooh."
balloon boy in a Mylar?
I think he wasn't like it was like
A
supposedly
Mylar bounce house?
supposedly in some giant like balloon that they had gotten for a birthday party, but they're a bunch of fucking liars. God, that was crazy. I wish more people lied to the news.
Yeah,
still.
right?
Guys,
I bet a
lie
lot of
to the
people
news.
do, and the news just doesn't follow
They just
up
don't
on
care
it. Yeah.
anymore. They're like, not crazy enough. Sorry.
You know, COVID and whatnot.
We just had a guy stab another guy, so that's probably gonna be more interesting.
What should we lie to the news about? We can give them a call.
Oh boy, I frequently think about like if I wanted to get on like Judge Judy or something.
Yeah.
What would I lie about to just like oh, what disputes? I'd be like, I'd probably say it's like some sort of like he stole my dog, but then now the dog likes him more, but it's still legally mine. So now you give me my dog, and everyone's just gonna have sympathy for whoever they perceive to be the pet parent.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to come down
The
to
dog
like
goes to him, and then you gotta run and just pull him back by the leash real hard, so you get no sympathy.
Be such like a heartwarming story to be like, the dog is choosing him, just let him go. And I'm like, no, he's legally mine. And everyone's just like outraged, but I'm right because the law. And then everyone thinks like maybe the government doesn't always have it right. And then we propaganda the news.
This new dog becomes our king.
And then we split it in half like King Solomon.
What happened to King Solomon?
Nah, that was
Where's he from?
That was that Bible story where King Solomon's like, oh, both of you say you're this baby's mother? Cut it in half. You each get some.
Oh, I've heard of that. I don't know my Bible too well.
That's the only one. That one and the one where they butt fuck. Those are the two I know. I don't read.
The Anarchy Cookbook and the butt fucking scene in the Bible. Over and over again.
That's about it.
Were you raised with any religion?
No. Both my parents were like barely tapped into parenting. They couldn't even fathom how to like try to make us deal with a religion.
Maybe God could have helped with the parenting.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe.
Could have been nice to have a community. Hell
All
yeah.
right, that's our 10-minute, or let's say 9-minute countdown clock. Did any of these all sound interesting?
Oh, let's see. Ooh, should we replace handshakes with elaborate dance greetings? All right, this is going to...
White people invented handshakes. It's time for black people to have their turn. As the business, like corporate professionalism.
When I was in college, I joined a fraternity because, you got to pay for friends sometimes. And each fraternity has a secret handshake. But like every fraternity's secret handshake is secretly the exact same handshake. Which like you're not supposed to tell your secrets, but we'd go to the other fraternities and be like, your handshake is just like the pinky thing, right? They're like, yeah, and then that's it. That's fucking it. So like,
what's the pinky thing?
You just lock your pinky in when you do the handshake.
Oh, okay.
Like you just like twiddle pinkies.
I saw
with
the
a guy.
video of the workaholics guys do a handshake and then suck each other's pinkies. I thought that seemed
little
frat boyish.
Yeah, that's the cool thing. That's why I think like if we had dance greetings, we could then we could call people out for being like, oh, you talk to me the way you talk to this person. Or
there could be different levels of like trying put into the dances.
So like if you weren't sweating at the end of this greeting, I don't think you really want me here.
Yeah. This interview is bullshit. Can you dance? I feel like you can dance well.
I used to be much better at dancing. I gained over 100 pounds during the pandemic, so I'm not as light on my feet as I'd like to be, but I'll get there. But I did some Latin dance lessons, got my cumbia and my bachata down pretty good.
Oh, damn.
Took some ballroom dancing at one point so I could pretend to be the king of fairies for a play.
What play?
Oh, this was Midsummer Night's Dream. So I had to be Oberon, the king of fairies, and I was like, I get to be the king of a thing? Hell yeah, I'll learn whatever the fuck you want.
Do you remember any lines?
Oh, shit. There's a point where he marches out to not poison his wife. Essentially, he's poisoning his wife.
Really act this line out.
He's like wishing shit upon her, so he comes out and he's like, what thou seest when thou dost awake, do it for thy true love's sake. Love and languish for his sake, be it ounce or cat or pard or bear. or boar with bristled hair, in thine eye that shall appear. When thou wakest, it is thy dear. Wake when some vile thing is near. Ooh. Sounds like me putting a curse on her, so when she wakes up, first thing she sees, she falls in love with like a fucking idiot. But that was the Shakespeare way of saying it.
I do not understand Shakespeare.
I'm just autistic enough that I'm like, that's my jam.
I've never understood a word in all my years.
Even better, it also comes back to rhythm, because iambic pentameter, it's all in chunks of 10 syllables.
Yeah, but what does... I don't get why it matters. How many...
I don't either. But, like... People have theorized, they were just like, maybe they used to like battle rap that shit. Like, they didn't. But it's just like, people will remember a phrase easier if they can remember like a rhythm and a rhyme to it. So like all his shit kind of rhymed and had a rhythm. So they like, it's cheating. They're fucking cheaters. Shakespeare was a fucking cheater.
Do you think Shakespeare was one guy? I've been hearing a lot about that recently.
I think he was one guy that could steal very well.
Okay. I just don't see how there's any other way to have it be done.
Crank that shit out.
Like, I guess there's... I don't know, if movies were going to survive, you would just have, like, Quentin Tarantino and... I don't know who else. Scorsese.
Whatever the 14th century version of cocaine was, you know Shakespeare was fucking boofing that shit 24/7. So obviously he would like
little doily.
With his fucking that little doily neck was soaked all the time. He is fucking wet with the coke sweats, and he would just be like pumping things out. I'd be like, oh, the fucking Merchant of Venice, yes. And they're gonna go to Scotland and someone's gonna get stabbed. Fuck yeah. You know, like that's what Shakespeare was doing. With just like Paul Giamatti face, just like too much blood pressure and sweaty.
What would the... I don't think England has Coke now. So like, what could an equivalency be?
Fucking
just like
fish and
spices.
Yeah, they were just colonizing India, so they were like, "Have you heard of this curry shit?"
Coffee hadn't been
honestly,
invented.
that could make a lot of sense. If he was just gacked on caffeine after living like a peasant's life, he's like, okay, in the morning, I'll have just like a wheat paste. And then for the afternoon, I'll have more gruel. For dinner, I'll have a bread made out of more wheat paste. And then they were like, have you tried this brown water that makes you think good? It's fucking...
I just heard a podcast on Shakespeare, and they said in his will he left his second bed to his kids, but the second bed was the best bed in the house because you wanted your guests to think you were richer than you were. So you put the best bed in the... That was before mattress tags. It was just filled with like weevils and...
It was just a sheet full of like straw that he really beat down. It's like much softer now because he made it into a nice fine powder.
It doesn't seem that hard to make a bed.
It's like a memory foam.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bed.
I really want to do that thing where you jump on the bed with the wine glass.
Like those like purple mattresses.
The old Tempur-Pedic commercials.
Yeah.
That seems like a good time.
Man, don't have wine in bed. It can never end well. Not even just with spilling. Like, do you really want to be wine drunk in your bed? You're gonna piss.
You gotta fall asleep somehow.
Yeah. If you're getting drunk on
Xanax
wine, just sleep
available.
on the floor.
Yeah.
You're already having a sleep on the floor ass kind of night. Just do it.
I feel like you haven't experienced finer wine.
I have slapped the bag more times than I care to admit.
Me and my buddy at a music festival, we finished a wine bag, and then we were like, festival magic. We were like, I wish we had another wine bag. And then somebody walked up and they were like, hey, you guys want this wine bag?
Yeah, you
and then we had to drink the other wine bag, and he didn't wake up the next day.
You receive the energy you put out into the world. If you're having a wine bag kind of day, you're going to find wine bag people.
He woke up eventually, just not the next day.
Alcohol's a great kind of poison.
Yeah. Is there a better kind of poison? Shrooms? They're technically food poisoning, I've heard.
McChickens.
Chickens ain't bad.
That's definitely not good for your body at all.
All right. It seems like we're trying to kick
yes.
this thing off. Thank you, Bobby.
Oh, of course. Glad to be here.
Again, the Petri Dish podcast and social media.
Hell yeah. Check out my band, Sad Giants.
Sad Giants.
And I am either Bobby Benedict or the Bobby Benedict anywhere on the internet.
What kind of music?
Punk adjacent music, very rockish. Though our recent track is a very sad acoustic song.
Is that also on Spotify?
Hell yeah.
I'll check that out on the way home. Sad Giants. Cheers, Bobby. Thank you.
Yeah.